Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice for the PS4. Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is a fantasy action-adventure game developed by Ninja Theory. The game world is heavily influenced by Celtic culture and Norse mythology. You play as Senua, a warrior who has to find her way to Helheim in order to save the soul of her dead lover. The main focus of the game is on the mental state of Senua. Right from the get-go, you have to endure multiple voices in Senua's head, telling her what to do, where to go, or vice versa. The developers wanted to create an accurate depiction of what dealing with severe mental health issues was like, and in particular, extreme psychosis. But putting the complexities of the subtext aside for a moment, you basically have to take your lover's severed head to Helheim. And to do this, Senua has to fight gods, solve complex and interesting puzzles, and get involved in some genuinely tense and disturbing combat set pieces. So what is the game like to play? Well, it's a fairly simple game in terms of gameplay. You have basic puzzles, small areas to explore, and general enemies to fight against. But the game is more of a vehicle for helping people empathise and understand the effects of mental illness. Senua's mental well-being is represented by the dark rot, a black substance that will slowly take over her whole body. Once it completely covers her, then it's game over. And this game uses a permadeath system, so when the black rot consumes you, after you've lost several battles, you have to start the game again. It may be a little harsh, but it definitely adds tension to your journey. The puzzles in general are fairly simple to complete, but they do use some interesting methods, such as symbology on the locked doors. You need to find a similar symbol in the game world, so it's a different type of way to solve a puzzle. The combat system is basic, but it's very effective. You can do a variety of attacks, you can parry, and other interesting features are that there aren't any health bars. There aren't really any on-screen indicators at all, so it's very immersive in that respect. Each blow feels weighty, and they've done a really good job to create a combat system that works. It's not overly complex, but it's strong. The enemies in the game are fairly straightforward but well created, and they do require you to be on your guard. They're all large, demonic type human monster hybrids, and when a large group surrounds you, it's a genuinely tense experience to fight your way out of it. Overall, it's just a really interesting, beautifully crafted experience that deals with mental health and kind of all sorts of interesting subtexts, as well as making a good game around it. You know, it's very thought-provoking, very intense, and really beautifully made, beautifully crafted, beautifully acted, beautifully written. Graphically, the game looks incredible. The character models, animations, and the environments, and all the effects, they're just top notch. It's one of the best looking games I've played on the PS4, and there were clearly some very talented artists involved in creating the visuals. The game does have a photo mode, although it's not that in depth, but you can alter things like framing, aperture, and some filters are available. You can tweak a few things, but you know, you've not got a huge amount of options. Saying that, the game does already look amazing, so as long as you're good at framing, you will do fine. The music in Hellblade is amazing, in particular the Nordic themed combat music. That really makes everything so much better. The sound effects are excellent, the ambient effects, the tactile elements, but in terms of audio, it's the voice acting that really just steals the show. The main character is acted superbly, and all the voice actors chosen to do their work are just stellar. You know, it just really adds to the experience and the immersion. In particular, the voices in Senua's head, they are constant in the game, and they really make you feel disorientated and confused. It's a very simple thing, but it does make you empathise with people who have these issues in real life, and how hard it must be to function as a normal human being with like all these voices around in your head. I'd also recommend using headphones for this, because when you use headphones you really get such a beautifully in-depth experience in terms of the audio. Okay, what's good and what's bad? What's good? Hellblade is an intelligent, mature and thought-provoking game. The story is beautifully handled, as is the way mental illness is handled and represented. The combat is simple but intense, the puzzles are well crafted and varied, and the graphics, music and voice acting are as good as anything else out there. What's bad? The permadeath system may be a game breaker for some, but personally I didn't have an issue with it. Okay, so what's the verdict? Hellblade is a rarity in modern gaming, because it takes the sensibilities of an independent game and puts them in a AAA product. It deals with a very complex subject, and it handles it with due care and a delicate touch. It would have been very easy to sensationalize these issues for cheap thrills, but this game never does that. It's a mature and well thought out story about someone who's dealing with grief, loss and trauma from her past. These are very difficult topics to cover in any medium, but even more so in a computer game. But the developers have really managed to do it in an effortless way. The core gameplay is varied with combat, puzzles and interesting and in-depth narrative sections, but it's the creative ideas they've used to solve puzzles or disorientate the game player to just make you feel uneasy. It's those things that are a real accolade that I can give to the developers. So if you're looking for an interesting, heartfelt adventure that deals with serious human emotions in a beautiful way, then Hellblade is something you should definitely get. So my score for Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice is 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic game, it's a great experience, and it's something that will make you think about how other people have to live that aren't as fortunate as you in terms of your mental well-being. Okay, there you go, that's the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer, signing off. Thank you.